Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentuckians can expect to see medical marijuana on some local ballots this election. And Prestonsburg is welcoming its new fire chief after her hard work at the station for more than 3 decades.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We're just before 6:30 this Wednesday morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmall for a look at your forecast this morning. I said it literally yesterday, but I feel like a broken record just talking about this cool air. It's just, I'm not used to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not used to it either, especially living in the South for the past couple of years. It's definitely taking a little bit to get used to it, especially in October. But the temperatures will be warming up. We're seeing 70s popping up eventually in the afternoon, but right now we're seeing visibility is going to be greater than 10 miles throughout majority of the area, especially if you're in the more northeastern counties. But if you are in Harlan or Middlesboro, you're between 3/10 of a mile and half a mile over there. So if you're driving in or around that area, just make sure you're being weather aware on that road, putting extra distance between the car in front of you and a little bit extra time on your drive this morning. Current temperatures are quite cool though. We are in those 40s, 41 for Hazard, and even the 30s over there in Irvin, 39 and 37 over in Clintwood. But again, as I mentioned, we do have some relief. Thankfully, we're getting into the 70s for our high temperature today. 75 even possible for some cities in the area: Monticello, Somerset, Irvin, and Jackson. And for the next 12 hours, you can see those temperatures gradually increase, and thankfully we'll get to that high temperature around 5 p.m. with not a single cloud in the sky throughout the day and no chance for rainfall. Sun will be rising in a couple minutes at 7:36 a.m. and I'll have the ARH 7-day forecast in a couple of minutes. Madison?
All right, Megan, thank you. A Mingo County, West Virginia man has been indicted on several charges, including murder. Chad Blackburn was arrested after a crash on US 119 that killed Linda Wright of Pikeville and seriously hurt a passenger. Blackburn was also indicted on charges of first-degree assault, vehicular homicide, and operating a vehicle while under the influence. Police in Pike County are asking for help finding a man who they say is considered armed and dangerous. Here is a picture of Kevin Hopkins. Police say he is known to frequently be in the Greasy Creek and Marrowbone areas. If you have any information about where Hopkins may be, you are asked to contact the Pikeville Police Department at 606-437-5111. A London man is facing charges following a recent indictment. Police in Laurel County responded to a call on Monday about a person who was reported to be out of control at a home on Pine Top Road. After they arrived, police say Nicholas Hubbard had been tearing up at a home and making threats. After he reportedly ran out of the house, police tased and arrested Hubbard. Hubbard spit at officers while being arrested. Police say he was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. We have an update on a story we first told you about last week. Police say they have found 37-year-old Joshua Miller of Jackson. Deputies with the Perry County Sheriff's Office found Miller. He had been missing since September 18th. Beginning January 1st, 2025, medical cannabis will be legal in the Commonwealth. Business owners who were interested in a cannabis business license were given the opportunity to enter a lottery. While the state law has been passed, many cities and counties in Kentucky are giving voters the option. In Clay County and Manchester, medical cannabis is on the ballot, and County Clerk Beverly Clark says it will be up to the voters to decide.
Everybody knows somebody, that could benefit from it medically, cancer patients and whatnot, Parkinson's, whatnot. They've heard success stories, but on the other hand, they have a fear of, abuse of the system.
Applications for the Cannabis Business License Lottery closed on August 31st. Business owners who submitted an application before the deadline can check their account to know the status of the application. Clay County Clerk Beverly Craft also warns people to pay attention to the statewide things on the ballot. Amendments 1 and 2 would make changes to the Kentucky State Constitution. However, Craft says to make sure you do not wait until Election Day to read the 2 amendments.
Yeah, they need to read it 2 or 3 times before they come to vote, and they need to, you know, possibly research it. Well, definitely research it prior to coming to vote.
I'm not sure. We don't have a plan. Kraft reminds voters each county's sample ballots are available for viewing. And here are some of those amendments that voters need to be aware of. Folks will have the chance to vote on Constitutional Amendment 1. That amendment allows the voter the opportunity to vote on prohibiting people who are not citizens of the United States from being allowed to vote in the state of Kentucky. Amendment 2 will also be on the ballot, which gives parents choices in educational opportunities for their children. People can vote to either be in favor of or not in favor of enabling the General Assembly to provide financial support for the education cost of students in kindergarten through 12th grade who are outside of the public school system, amending the Constitution of Kentucky. Here are the early voting dates in Kentucky. You have until October 22nd to request a mail-in ballot. That ballot must be obtained by the county clerk by 6 p.m. local time on Election Day. In-person excused absentee voting goes through October 23rd through the 25th and October 28th through the 30th. And in-person no excuse absentee voting runs through October 31st to November 2nd. This week is National Fire Prevention Week, and departments throughout the mountains are sharing the importance of fire safety. The annual Fire Prevention Week is focused on educating families and businesses, stressing the importance of knowing how to react and who to call if fire sparks up. From establishing a meeting place to making sure all smoke alarms and detectors are in place and powered up. Prestonsburg firefighters say preparation is the key to prevention.
Fire prevention and safety goes all year long. This week, you know, we focus a little more on it, especially with the children. Fire safety, you know, starts at home. So smoke detectors are a big thing this year. That's the campaign.
The National Fire Protection Association recommends installing smoke alarms in every bedroom and outside of sleeping areas, saying there should be detectors on every level of your home. Prestonsburg's new fire chief is bringing decades of dedication to the table while writing department history along the way. WYMT's Buddy Forbes explains.
For Selena Thomas, the desire to fight fires ignited at a young age.
I knew from the time I was a young girl that this is what I wanted to do. I had a fan catch on fire in my bedroom, and my mom called 911, and the fire department showed up, and when they showed up, and they jumped out of that truck and come running into the house, there was never a question that there was anything else that I was going to do.
So she started volunteering with the Prestonsburg Department in 1991, sparking more opportunities to serve in roles from dispatch to EMT, before joining the department full-time in 2003.
There was a time when the fire service was dominated by men. And I would say, like, in the last 20 years, there's been more and more women in the fire service, and a lot of that might have to do with the EMS side of it.
After decades of working her way up the ranks, Thomas was named the new fire chief of the Prestonsburg Fire Department Tuesday.
Full house in the council room, standing ovation when she was announced and swore in.
And though she is proud to see the fire service becoming more inclusive and diverse, the city's first female fire chief says she is much more than just that.
I don't know that I necessarily want to attach the female thing to it. It's exciting, but I want to be the chief of this department, and I want to work with these guys closely. I want to give them all opportunities to be better at their job and to serve the community.
She is a fire chief who is ready to take her department even further. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
A ceremony is planned for Monday evening at 6:30 to officially pin Thomas with the department insignia that will be hosted at the Mountain Arts Center. 2 Kentucky universities are reporting record enrollment numbers. The University of Kentucky is at an all-time high for first-time freshmen, transfer students, and overall enrollment, hosting roughly 36,000 students for the first time ever. UK's Vice President for Student Success says their infrastructure is ready to welcome even more. A spokesperson with Asbury University says the school hosted more than 2,000 students.
Right now in the London Corbin Airport, you can see that there's not much fog going on. That's because most of the area is seeing that 10+ mile visibility, with the exception over in Harlan and Manchester. A little bit less visibility over there, but current temperatures 44 degrees over in London Corbin. We have some pretty high humidity though at 93%. But as we continue to look at the temperature, we're seeing most of the area will be in the 40s, 41 over there in Hazard, 44 for Manchester. And our forecasted temperatures will get quite warm into the 70s for most of the area, with chances of 75 for Jackson and Irvin. And if we're looking at our bus stop forecast for the next couple of hours, we'll be warming up and seeing clear skies for the rest of the day.
All right, Megan, thank you. If you're a parent, you might be interested in the latest lawsuit against TikTok. They report the platform is harmful for children and teens. Studies suggest that can be true for social media in general, but the lawsuits accuse TikTok of being particularly dangerous. Amy Kiley reports on what you might want to know to keep your kids safe.
For the developing teenage mind, the TikTok platform is like digital nicotine.
TikTok faces new lawsuits from 14 state attorneys general who allege it hurts young people's mental health.
Our goal is to hold the company accountable for its unlawful conduct and to stop the company from engaging in practices that exploit our young people for profit.
Numerous studies show social media in general can harm children and teens. A CDC survey out just yesterday shows high schoolers who use it frequently report more negative experiences and emotions. But the new lawsuits single out TikTok as being especially dangerous.
We know that the overuse of social media is driving an epidemic of mental health challenges for young people. TikTok is particularly effective at it.
The suits argue TikTok's endless scrolling content is addictive. They say challenge videos on the platform can encourage risky behavior, and late-night push notifications can disrupt sleep.
It's intentional design choices that trap young people's time and attention and hurt them in the process.
TikTok says it's proud of its efforts to protect teens. It says it removes underage users and employs safeguards.
TikTok hasn't been straight with the public, with parents, with children, in overstating its safety features when it knows, in fact, that the safety features don't work.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A federal law could ban TikTok from the U.S. as early as next year. That is, unless its Chinese parent company sells it. TikTok is challenging the ban in court. Thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:41. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Hurricane Milton is going to hit sometime tomorrow as some Floridians prepare to leave or stay.
Stop.